Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to this Brilliance webinar. And this one is a Fix It on the Floor. I'm Bob Nagin.
I'm
One
Susan
of the,
Nagin.
yes, we are the co-creators of the Retail Sales Academy. And today we're going to be sharing and exploring together, what does it take to create that culture? What do you have to do to build the kind of culture where when your team members are on the floor, they're giving a consistently great experience to every single customer. When we talk about it all the time, this idea that as a local independent brick and mortar retailer, your number one competitive advantage is your ability to give your customers the kind of experience that lets them leave your store feeling great about you, your team, your merchandise, everything about your store makes them want to talk about you, makes them want to come in more often, makes them want to spend more money, all those good things. But let's start by talking about this. So, Susan, can you talk about the coaching triangle and sort of how that ties in or how it translates to the experience on the floor?
Well, sure. I was just typing in comments trying to get, first of all,
I
hi.
was going to say, I didn't say, hey, everybody, please put, your name, where you're from, all of those things.
Yeah, we'd love to know who you are so we could say hi to you and know a little bit about your store. So your name, your store name, what kind of store you have, where you're from, all that kind of great stuff. We'd love to be able to say hi. So the coaching triangle, this is an interesting like model that Bob, you and I have been teaching for many, many years, decades,
Yes.
if I can possibly say it, but it's true. And it really really kind of crystallizes these three things that you as owners or managers need to do on your sales floor and with your team to get the kind of consistent results that you're looking for, and also to like really start to develop this sales focused culture that we all want, because retail selling is the number one thing that we do right in our store. It's the number one activity that we do every single day. So there's three parts to the triangle. The first part is training. And that's one of the things that you get on Brilliance, right? Training for yourself, but specifically training for your team. And, training is an ongoing process that you have to do continuously with your team. You can't just train them once and hope that they'll remember it forever. We know that that doesn't work. It's not a good strategy. So training is the first part of the triangle. And then the second part of the triangle is rewards. So once you've trained somebody to do something and then they have learned it and have shown it on the floor with their performance, the second part of the triangle is rewards. So there's lots of different ways that you can reward them for doing the right thing and changing their behavior on the selling floor. And we'll talk about some of those things in just a minute here. The third part of the triangle, the training triangle, the coaching triangle, really coaching triangle, is accountability. So you have to check and hold them accountable for the training that they have learned. So three things: you have to tell them what to do. You have to say good job when they do it, and then the accountability is checking to see. So it's not even about it's nothing more than checking. We one of the things that we like to say is expect that they're doing it, but inspect to make sure that they are. So those three components together really make up this coaching triangle that we're going to be talking more about today. And one of the things we used to call it the three-legged stool, didn't we, honey?
We did until
We're
put me in coach when we did
until put me
webinar
in,
last
coach,
Wednesday. Yeah.
we were trying to get somebody came up with
Well, it
the
was,
coaching
yeah,
triangle.
yeah. It was
So
Ernest Freeland.
yeah,
So we
thanks,
said,
Ernest.
help us come up with a new name. And so he came, he sent us an email with several ideas, and this
Yeah.
is the one that. So, Ernest, if you're watching this, thank you very much.
Yeah, we like it. So the coaching triangle. So the idea though is if it's a three-legged stool or even with a triangle, if you take away one of these components, if you take away training or you don't do training, or you take away rewards, you don't give rewards, or you take away accountability, you're not expecting but inspecting to make sure that this is happening in your store, whatever the training was. It's like a three-legged stool and the stool falls over, or the triangle isn't a triangle anymore. It's just a straight line. And, in other words, it doesn't work. You really have to do all three of these components. You have to train them properly, reward them when they do a great job, and hold them accountable for not only learning the material, but having that show up in their performance in your store. So that's kind of the overview of the coaching triangle that we're going to be talking about today. So one of the things that's great about Brilliance and the way that Brilliance is put together is that it does this training component, this training part of the triangle extremely well. It delivers the lessons, it does the quizzes, it helps you track, it does all the parts of the training for you so that really you don't have to do it, but you still need to, help do these other two pieces. You want to talk about some of the other components? Why don't we start with rewards? You want to start with rewards or accountability, Bob?
Oh, let's start with rewards. Let's
Okay,
start
I
with the
like that.
positive, right? So let's start. And there's a couple of ways that you can reward people for doing well. So specifically, let's talk about the Retail Sales Academy, which is on Brilliance. But what the Retail Sales Academy allows you to do is to see, what if people are actually doing the work when they're done with the different phases in the Retail Sales Academy, they become certified. And all of the statistics are showing that, especially younger employees, they want to know that you are investing in them. They
Okay,
want to
specifically, let's
feel.
talk about the
Ooh,
Retail Sales
hang on,
Academy,
hang on,
which
hang on.
is on
Sorry,
Brilliant. But
that was me. Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm trying to get in so I can comment and look at the chat.
They want to know that you care. They want to know that they matter to you. So merely by just I mean, that's the first step. Is, hey, you've learned this information. You're now certified. That's a reward. There are other ways to reward them, of course. You can reward them monetarily.
Sure.
The retail mastery system from Whizbang Training is on Brilliance. In the staff development module, there's a whole bonus program, so you can give them money when when they're doing a good job for you. And then the third thing, and this is the most actionable thing of all, besides training. All of this follows from training, and it's what we call an on the floor, on the fly coaching technique. And this is the one sentence wonder. There are lots of different coaching techniques, but this is perhaps the easiest to execute and the most powerful. And the one sentence wonder goes like this: you catch your team member, you catch that sales associate exhibiting the right behavior, and as quickly as possible, you reinforce that behavior in one sentence. So it would be, let's just say that I saw Susan asking lots of good questions, because questioning and listening is step two of the six steps to the perfect purchase. A good salesperson asks lots of good questions. So I see Susan asking lots of good questions. When that customer leaves the store, I say to Susan, Susan, that was amazing. You did a fantastic, actually, now I'm making it into two sentences, but you did a great job of asking lots of really great questions. So what am I doing? I am reinforcing this positive sales behavior to Susan. And so what is Susan's doing? Susan's going, hey, he saw me doing a good job. So that reinforcement is a reward. And because it's a reinforcement and it's positive reward, Susan is more likely to ask more good questions in the future. But here's where it gets great, because let's just say that Indy was on the floor. She was working the same shift as me and Susan, and Indy sees me say this to Susan. Indy goes, "Oh, Bob is watching for us asking good questions." So now Indy starts to ask good questions. So I'll share one more story about rewards, and then we can see if there's any questions, Susan. But we have done, I think, 1,200 weekly tips of the week. Now it's called the Retail Buzz. And in the very beginning, like tip number 7, who knows how many years ago? It was when email was brand new. Uh, we sent this out as one of our earliest tips of the week, and somebody replied with this brilliant idea. They said, I love that idea. They did the one sentence wonder a little differently than we're talking about now. But what they said was, we start every day with 10 pennies in our left hand pocket. And every time we catch somebody doing something right, we move one of those pennies from the left hand pocket to the right hand pocket. And so I want you to, if you're watching this, I want you to think about this. If you, as the owner, rewarded your team members 10 times a day by making sure that you shifted these pennies, imagine how you will change behaviors. Imagine how you will add positivity to your culture. Imagine how you're going to keep your team growing as salespeople. And if you have assistant managers, you can have them do the same thing. But I just thought it was, when Susan and I, when we got that email, I remember we were in our old office in our apartment on Fifth Street. And it was like, wow, that's a great idea. And I guarantee you that if you follow through with what I just shared with you, you will see very, very quickly a shift in the positivity towards more positivity in your store.
And not only more positivity, but better performance, because
Right.
the great thing about rewards is they focus on what you focus on. So whenever you're giving them a reward, whether it's just like one of these positive one sentence wonders, or any of those, the certificate from the Retail Sales Academy, when they earn that, no, whatever the reward is, it really it gives a signal to your team that you're focusing on this, and then that's what they're going to focus on.
That's
And
right.
I loved what you said too, like if you gave one of these one sentence wonders to Indy, the other people on the team might hear it and they are going to start to pay attention too.
Right.
So,
So let's go back to what we're really kind of talking about here. What we're talking about, this three-legged stool, whoops, I mean the coaching triangle.
it's
it,
gonna take a
it
while for
takes
us
it
to
takes a
start.
long time to get rid of that muscle memory. That coaching triangle is really all about creating a culture. And, Seth Godin defines culture as people like us doing things this way. And, what you really, I mean, when you create this kind of culture in your business, not only is your team happier, your customers get a better experience, you're going to make more money, you're going to experience a lot less stress when you know your team's doing a great job. But that's really what we're talking about here. All of that positive reinforcement after the training, it all starts with the training, because if you don't teach them what to do, you can't expect them to do it the way you want them to do it, right? Selling is a skill. If you don't teach them how to sell, or if you don't use the Retail Sales Academy to teach them how to sell, you can't expect them to sell skillfully. Excuse me. But once you've done that, then just, sort of reinforcing it, making it fun, make them feel good, make them feel confident. That's how it all goes. And then all of a sudden that culture becomes reinforced.
Yeah, I love that. You just made me, when you were talking about the training part of our triangle, you made me think about my dear friend Kimberly Ruthenbeck, who's a top executive at Room and Board Furniture. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that independent retailer that has really done, an incredible job of building their business. But her comment was, if you don't set the standards for your team, in other words, if you don't train them, if you don't explain to them exactly what you expect, if you don't set your standards, they have no choice except for setting their own standards. Right? So in other words, they're going to do just whatever they want. They're going to do whatever they want or
Well,
whatever they think is right. And
or,
it might not be what you think is right.
or even Susan, I mean, to take it a step farther, so if they don't know what to do and they don't feel
Right.
confident and comfortable doing it, the default is to stand behind the counter. The default is to say, "Can I help you?"
Yeah, they
Because
don't want to make a mistake.
that's right. It's a lot easier to not make a mistake than it is to go out on the floor and make a mistake. And this is where this sort of frustration that we feel from so many owners and managers comes from. And if you're watching, this may be you, right? You're a good salesperson. How come they don't sell like I sell? Well, you might be a natural. You know the product. You were your livelihood depended on it. So you got good at selling, but that doesn't mean that you hire somebody and they're going to sort of by osmosis be as good as you. So can I sort of segue into accountability then too, Susan?
Absolutely. So yeah,
I was
training, boards, accountability to make our
right.
triangle.
Right. So if when we talk about creating a culture, on the one side is training and setting those standards and reinforcing those standards through positive. But on the other side of that same coin is accountability. And for those of you who are new to our community, we have a really high level mastermind called the Platinum Mastermind Group. And we just had a meeting in January in Puerto Rico, and culture is always a big part of our conversations in this group because these are customer focused, successful retailers. And Ken in January had this point that everybody went, "Oh, everyone's regularly, but sometimes people say something that the whole room goes, "Oh, that's interesting." She said, "Culture is what you allow." And isn't that the truth? So if once you set your standards, if you allow your team members to do whatever they want, if you allow them to not sell the way that you want them to sell, if you allow them to do all the wrong things like say, "Can I help you?" and all of those things, if you allow that, your culture is going to slip. So on the one hand, you've got the positives, but on the other hand, it is not even a negative because your best people want to do a good job. So what you have to do is just not allow those standards to slip. So you build the standards up through training and rewards, and then you hold them up through accountability.
Exactly. Exactly. And really it does take all three of these components to do a good job of, creating that culture in your store and doing the coaching. So what are some of the accountability tools that we have at our disposal as retailers? Well, I mean, the one of the easiest ones, and it kind of goes hand, you'll notice that they go hand in hand. The rewards and the accountability kind of go hand in hand. The easiest thing that we do for accountability is we watch and pay attention on the sales floor, right? That's up to you guys. That is the easiest, most important thing for you folks to do every single day. And, one of the things that we teach is this retailer's time system, where one of the things that you need to be doing is scheduling yourself time on the floor to be working with your employees. And when you're doing that, when you're on the floor working with your employees, it's, you're not supposed to be doing things like, you know, uh,
Write the
making
schedule.
orders or, any of the others or any of the other stuff that you normally might do. Really be focused on paying attention. What are your team members doing? What are they doing right? You can give them the one sentence wonder, but also paying attention to where do they need additional support? Where do they need coaching? Where do they need help?
And let me just add this too. You modeling those behaviors is
Additional support
really
if they
important.
need coaching. Sorry, it's me again. Go ahead, sorry.
You
I
need to
had to
model
refresh.
those. You need to model these behaviors. I'll share a quick story. So Jamie Bush, she and her mother Linda owned Point of Origin in Lakeway, Texas, and they got serious about sales training. And what Jamie told me was that the first thing that had to happen was she had to go through the training. She had to, learn the 6 steps to the perfect purchase, the process, the system that we teach in the Retail Sales Academy. And then, then once she felt really comfortable with it, then, she, I mean, it didn't take very long. She got her people going at the same time. And, so then they were watching her behave the right, exhibit the right selling behaviors. And then the thing that, and what she said was, it took her team a little while, but she stayed with it. And then before too long, over the course of a little over a month, she said, all of a sudden it was a source of great pride when someone would walk out with a pink bag. That was their bag, right? So what happened there was uh, she got serious about it. She learned how to do it real well. At the same time, she was training her people so that they all did it. And then it was the culture, right? And once you get the culture, as you know, Susan, and anybody can chime in here, once you have the culture sort of set, it's easy to maintain. It's a lot easier to maintain a culture than it is to build a culture. Because, let's say you have 5 team members or six, let's say 5 team members, and one of them quits, but 4 of them are, customer focused salespeople. They're trained in the Retail Sales Academy. They're doing all the things. Well, guess what? That 5th person, assuming that you are using the Retail Sales Academy, which I hope you are, which we'll talk about in a moment. So you get that person trained in the Retail Sales Academy. Then they go on the floor.
A new
Everybody else
person,
is
yeah.
doing it that way. So
Yeah,
you don't have to bring them up to. I mean, you can bring them up to speed so much more quickly.
exactly, exactly. So yeah, so just being on the floor and paying attention is a great accountability tool. One of the really, really important accountability tools that you have at your disposal when you're talking about building your sales culture, and especially as you're working with your team, is to be looking at and monitoring the trends on your sales statistics. This is just objective, factual data, folks. Like, it doesn't lie. It's just like it is what it is. This is not you being mad at your team or yelling at your team or you thinking they're doing a good job or not good job. This is just the number. So this is a fantastic accountability tool that you can use. And the stats that we recommend that you track are, the first one, probably one of the most important ones, is your average sale. Just your average sale. Average sale, if you can track it by employee, that's the best. That's the premium standard. If you can track it just by your entire, well, I know you can track it just by your entire store as a whole. Great. Average sale, really important because it's taking into account a couple of really important things. Number one, are they adding on? Are they adding on at each of the 3 opportunities that we teach in the Retail Sales Academy for them to add on? Are they adding on with the primary purchase? Are they adding on in transition? Are they adding on at the counter? Are they adding on in such a way that it improves and increases the customer's experience? Do they leave with a more perfect purchase because your employees are adding on? So that's one thing. And then the second thing is, are they selling more expensive merchandise? Are they willing to show and present with confidence your highest priced merchandise? Or are they doing what we call selling out of their own pocket?
So I see
How
Jim.
much they would spend on a
Right.
dress, a sewing machine, a bicycle, whatever it is you sell.
So Jim Wallace is here, and Jim's in the dive business, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know very much about the dive business, but I know enough to know that you can buy premium equipment and you can buy pretty good equipment. Well, premium equipment. And tell me if I'm wrong, everybody, but usually the better quality goods are the best value. They'll last longer, they work better, they do all those things. So in the case of a dive shop, if somebody doesn't have a lot of money, they tend to Susan's point, sell out of their own pocket. So somebody may want to buy the very best dive gear, but if this person can't afford the very, very best dive gear and they want to do right by the customer, rather than selling the customer what they want, a perfect purchase, they show them what they would buy. And that is what we call selling out of your own pocket. If you're taking notes, write this down. You don't have to own a Rolex watch to sell a Rolex watch, right?
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. So that's the first stat that you should be tracking in this accountability piece of the coaching triangle, average sale. The second is items per sale, and that's just the straight measurement of how good a job they are doing adding on again in those three places with the primary purchase, in transition, at the counter, at point of sale. So that's just there. All of these things should be improving as you add your training, and you're just tracking, you're just checking in. This is the accountability piece. Is this, are you using these things that we're teaching you in the training part of the triangle? So that's the second stat. The third stat that I would suggest you track is sales volume per hour. And this is just a measurement of efficiency of your salespeople on the floor. It can also be a great indication for an individual person about how many great sales conversations they're getting into. There's the third stat, which is conversion, which kind of speaks to the same thing. Like how many people come in the floor, 10 people walk in your door, 8 people walk out with a bag. That is an 80% conversion rate. So depending on what kind of store you have and where you're located, that could be one of the stats that
yes.
you want to say something, Bob.
No, yeah, I do. I want to tell a quick story. So, uh, sales volume per hour, I never quite understood why it was a good statistic until this thing happened. So, we started measuring sales, up in Mackinac City when we first started to really look at the statistics and manage to statistics. One day I realized I was looking at everything and I realized that our best salespeople, they had the highest average sale, they had the highest items per sale. We didn't track conversion in those days, but they also had the lowest sales volume per hour, and I couldn't figure out why. And then I realized that it was because the experienced employees, the ones who were the best salespeople, were the people who knew how to do the operational tasks. They knew how to check in orders. They knew how to do all
Write
that.
the schedule,
They knew
whatever.
how to write the schedule. They knew how to do all that back of the house stuff. So they were the ones doing all the back of the house stuff. Meanwhile, the rookies are up front working with the customers. So what
Bad
that
call.
a bad call. So what that led us to do, of course, is to create training for the back of the house tasks. And so people, when they first started, the rookies would learn the back of the house stuff. And then when they learned that, we always had our best people on the floor, not the best people doing, sort of those operational things. So Jennifer Shorter had a great question, Susan. She
Yeah.
said, uh, she said, should you post individual sales statistics? And I have an opinion, of course, but I'd like to hear yours.
Go ahead. You say yours. I know what yours is.
Heck yes,
Heck
Jennifer.
yes.
Heck yes. If you play on a softball team, they don't hide everybody's batting averages,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
know,
The stats are the stats, baby.
and this is why, and we know Jennifer because she's in the Platinum Mastermind group, and we know that she has the Retail Mastery System. This is also why you have a bonus program that has a sliding benefit. So the more they do, the higher above the goal they get, the more they get paid. So I mean, again, if you're measuring to statistics, I mean, there's a real benefit to posting them. Why? Because then everybody sees who's pulling. Everybody gets to see. And here's what you're going to find, Jennifer, is that the people who are good salespeople are going to be proud of it, and they're going to work on their skills. And the people who have pride but don't have good statistics yet, are going to work on their skills. And the people who don't care and have bad statistics, this becomes your opportunity to coach them either into improvement or to, I mean, there's plenty of jobs in downtown Petoskey, Michigan. Let them go work at one of those places. You want the best places, the best people working at Grandpa Shorter's.
Again, this just goes back to this really key idea of they focus on what you focus on. So if you're putting the stats out for everybody to see, you are focused on it. Absolutely. And they know you're focused on it, and they will be focused on it. They will be focused on doing what it's going to take to get good stats up on the board. If you have your Retail Sales Academy, it comes with a poster, a sales tracking poster, so that you can, it's like a write on, wipe off, one of those, it's a laminated poster.
Dry
You can use your
erase.
dry erase. Thank you. That was the word I was looking for. Thank you.
Wipe on, wipe off.
Wipe on, wipe off, right? Like, so you can post every single day. It's going to ask you to look at your items per sale and your average sale, and have them post it every single day, and have them post it. This is a really key accountability piece, is that you're not the one that's looking up the information and posting it. And in this case, for this poster, it is talking about your entire team, the average for the whole day. But you can also post individual stats. But the idea is that they're doing it. And again, it makes them focus on it. And when they start to, use the skills that they've learned in the Retail Sales Academy, they're going to see that increase by this accountability piece. And that also also creates a reward. Hey, I'm doing it. I'm getting better. Everybody likes to get better and improve, right?
And to your point, this is an opportunity for you to coach and reward individually and as a team. And what I would recommend is that you make filling that out part of the closing checklist.
Yep.
So whoever closes, that's part of the closing checklist. You look at the stats, you post them on the board.
What do you think about that, Jennifer? Does that resonate with you, or does that make you a little anxious? And if so, I wonder why. So I'd love to hear what you have to say. Two more accountability tools that we have at our disposal, especially with the Retail Sales Academy in Brilliance. Number one, the quizzes. So each lesson comes with a quiz with multiple questions to help make sure that your employee actually watched the lesson, right? They weren't like, in the other room making a sandwich, or they weren't daydreaming about their boyfriend or their girlfriend or whatever it is. They were actually focused on the lesson. And then B, they actually understood the most important critical information and can pass the quiz. So that quiz component is a really great accountability piece. It lets you know that they have actually learned the information in the training part, training of rewards, accountability, lets you know that they have actually learned the lessons in the training part. The other part that's inside Retail Sales Academy that's really great, and inside Brilliance, is all the reporting that's available. So at a glance, you can quickly see who's been doing the training. You can follow along with their progress. You can see how many quiz questions they got right. So it's super easy for you to track what they're doing. And again, this is not about punishing them. This part is not about making them feel bad. This part is not about anything other than just looking, paying attention, and holding them accountable to do what you've asked them to do. You've asked them to take this training. Did they pass the quizzes? You can check that reporting to make sure that they're doing the work you've asked them to do. And then with the selling stats, are they putting it to use on the selling floor? So it's all just about looking, paying attention. Are they doing what you've asked them to do. So really those the three components all work together.
Yeah.
I'm going to
So,
see, I think Jennifer,
yeah,
uh,
she said doesn't make her anxious at all. Good. I'm glad to hear it.
great, perfect.
And
That's
you
awesome.
know, and I also wanted to point out Jim Wallace's comment. You know, and I know that Jim works with veterans, and it's called the Military Skill Bridge Program, and so he trains them for the perfect purchase. And when they leave and go to other dive shops, Jim gets calls or emails on how well the people who have been trained
In the
in
6 steps
Jim's
to the perfect
store
purchase.
how effective they are, you know, in
Yeah.
other stores. So thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that, Jim.
I
So,
love that. I love that.
so Susan, can you, I mean, so we've been talking about the Retail Sales Academy and it is on sale right now. There's a special offer. Can
Yep.
you tell everybody a little bit about what's going on?
Sure. Well, absolutely. I highly encourage you to take a look at the Retail Sales Academy. If you're not on it yet, it really does all three of these pieces for you. It does the training, it does it does the rewards, it does the accountability. It helps you, it gives you tools to do all three of these pieces. And it's on sale right now for $50 off a month. It's a monthly fee. It's $199 normally, plus $10 per person that you're training. And you know, if you're selling anything at all, that is a very tiny investment. You'll easily get, you know, 20, 50, 100 times that, I would hope, return on your investment. So it's $50 off a month right now, and we have a great bonus package. We've got all three of these amazing posters available, and it's the Retail Sales Academy 6 steps to the perfect purchase poster. Why didn't I bring the posters in here
I
with me
don't
so I could
know.
show you? I don't
Do you want
know.
me to go get one and bring it into
No,
your
that's all
office?
right. We're good. It's the sales tracking poster that we talked about, where you can
I
write
wonder
on
if
and
Belinda's
wipe
there.
off dry erase for your sales tracking posters. Indy's gonna put them up, maybe. I don't know if
There you go.
she's got a little, she's got the
I'll chat
there.
Belinda too.
Yeah. Ask Belinda, maybe she can just bring them
Yeah.
into me.
Yeah.
And then the third one is a poster called Awesome Add-ons. You know, and again, adding on, this is like one of the easiest low-hanging fruit and a big driver of increased sales. And it's a poster that helps your team start to think about not only how to add on, but what to add on. This is an interesting story. This poster, this awesome add-on poster, came about from a conversation that we had with one of our Platinum Mastermind group members. She had a baby and infant shop in Canada, in Saskatchewan, and she was frustrated with her team because she couldn't get them to like increase that items per sale, increase that add-on piece. And she started digging deep into her sales data in her point of sale system. And she started looking at every item that only had one item, every sale that only
Every
had one
sale that
item.
had one
Yeah,
item.
every sale that only had one item. And what she found was a bunch of them were this particular teething ring,
Hazelnuts.
hazelnut teasing rings. Yes. Witch
See,
hazel,
I
not
learned all
hazelnut,
that
not
stuff.
hazelnut, witch hazel. Anyway,
Oh, I was so proud of myself. Oh, wow.
hazelnuts, that would be delicious. Right? No, it
That's
was
why
a
they would chew on them. Why did
right.
they
It was
chew
a
on
witch, it was this witch hazel teething ring. Doesn't matter what kind of teething ring it is. Let me tell my story.
them?
And so she was like, I don't get it. Why aren't they adding on with this teething ring? So she went and she talked to her team about it. And they were like, well, we don't know. We don't know what to add on. We don't have an idea. We don't you know, if they're teething, here's the teething ring. That's it. Solves the problem. We don't know what else to add on. And it just made her mind explode and made my mind explode too. And that they were thinking, what specifically goes with this one particular item? They weren't thinking, what does the mom and the baby need if they are in this active teething phase, right? So what Jordana did, and how the reason we created this poster, and here comes Blunt, she's going to bring me some posters
Oh,
for us. All
she
that
must have heard
don't
because
have
I
that.
couldn't get her on chat.
That's okay. So anyway, the poster really helps you think about it highlights a one or two item, that you can change it every day, every week, where you highlight an item and you and your team all do this brainstorming, write on, wipe off on your poster about if this is the main item, if it's a pen, if the main item is a pen, what are all the things that we can add on? If somebody needs a new pen, what else do they need? Like, and you guys can put it in chat. We could probably come up with 100 add-on ideas for the pen. The thing is, your team doesn't always think the same way that you do. So this awesome add-ons poster and the training they get inside the Retail Sales Academy helps them start to think about adding on in an entirely new and different way, helps them start to think about adding on as an integral and critical part of getting your customer to the perfect purchase. So here's what we have here. We got some posters to show you. This one is just the poster that highlights all 6 steps to the perfect purchase. And you can post that so that they don't forget it. Again, top of mind, what you focus on, they focus on. We don't have one of the awesome add-ons posters. They all got sent out. So, we have new ones arriving. And then here's the sales tracking poster. This again is this dry erase sales tracking poster, and it's got a little square there for every single day you see. And this is where your team just gets to write in, what did they accomplish? How was their performance today? What was their items per sale today? What was their average sale today? And what were their total sales today? So again, it just keeps them focused and tracking. It's that great accountability piece, and it's a rewards piece as they start to see their sales go up. That's a reward as well as an accountability piece. So thank you, Aubrey, for bringing in those posters for me. So great. Let's see.
And talk about the course that we're almost done. And then I want to talk about something else here.
Okay, so I'm sorry. So yes, I got sidetracked.
I know. That's why I'm here.
I got excited. I got excited about the adding on thing. I thought that was, well, I think that's great. Anyway, so yes, the special deal on the Retail Sales Academy is $50 off a month. Awesome special bonus package.
Is that like a special introductory offer? I mean, is that for 1 month, 2 months, 6 months?
No, it's for as long as you're active in the
forever.
Forever. Yeah, like it's not an introductory offer. It's not going to change. It's not going to go up in a year. It's not going to go up in 3 months. As long as you're active in the Retail Sales Academy, you get to keep that low discounted price. Absolutely. So a couple of things. So you're going to get the posters. You're going to get the add-on masterclass, which is really designed for you, again, to be coaching and teaching your team about adding on. So we're going to do the initial training in the Retail Sales Academy for you, but this is a little special training program for you to help you be a better coach, better add-on coach as the owners and managers. There's a new course that we're going to be launching early next week, on getting the most out of your Retail Sales Academy. Actually, so a bunch of the stuff that we're talking about today is going to be in this course, and it really is going to just, help you get the most out of your Retail Sales Academy, really understand how to do a great rollout and launch with your team. We got him, Belinda. Belinda's back at her desk and she's running in with posters, so that's good. So it's a great deal, and it's through the end of this week. So Friday is the last day for this special offer. So we really, really hope you'll think about taking advantage of that. Get your team on Retail Sales Academy. We see amazing results, right, Bob?
Yeah. And so I would, so let's just use a small store. So a small store, say, has 5 employees, you and 4 employees. And so that would come up to $200 a month with the special offer, right? So $200 a month. So how much does that come out to a day? It comes out to like $7.50 a day. Do you think that if you had a hot team, a team that really knew how to sell, do you think that they might do an add-on or two that would equal 7, 10, 15, 20, do you think that they might feel more confident selling more items, better quality items? The point is that this is an investment. It's not a cost. A cost is something that goes away. The money just goes away, never to be seen again. This is an investment. You invest $200 a month, you're going to see, to Susan's point, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100%. I mean, you're just going to see such a return. And I think it's so important, going back to what we shared earlier in this conversation. Your number one competitive advantage right now is to be really, really great, to have a team where everybody knows what to do. They get out on the floor, they engage your customers skillfully. And unless you give them good training, they're not going to be able to do that. And you just think about this. Expectations are up, loyalty is down. Every single customer is precious, which means that every single customer has to get that kind of amazing experience. And that amazing experience only comes from highly skilled people, and skills come from training. So
Yeah.
don't say, oh, that's interesting. Don't say, oh, that's nice. Just do it. Do it. There's no commitment. There's no contracts. Just do it. Get your team through it. You'll see what we mean by the benefits that you're going to get. Don't be afraid. Do it. So anyway, there's my
Well,
2 cents.
thanks, Melissa. You should definitely get your team on Retail Sales
Oh,
Academy.
good. Thank you,
Great.
Melissa.
That's awesome. So, you talked about the sales increases. We generally see pretty much across the board, about a 10% lift in average sale when people are using the Retail Sales Academy. But it can be even more. Like we've had people do, 20, even 30% even more. And there's a cool tool that we have available for you, a little calculator, to kind of think about what is the upside? What's the opportunity that you have by increasing the selling skills? And what's the upside from doing all this coaching, using this coaching triangle that we've talked about, the training? I gotta get used to saying it.
Good job.
The training, the rewards, and the accountability. What's the upside? And we have this cool triangle, and I'm just going to share my screen for just a second. Might have to pop over here. I did pull it up. So here
Are
we
you
go.
going to do this live?
It's Indy, are they able to see there we go. And so yeah, so let's just take a look at this little calculator. And it's a little calculator. You can put your own numbers in. And so if somebody is willing to put your own numbers in chat, I'd love to, see how this works. But the first number is what's the average sale in your store? So Bob, we're going to do this for you and the Mackinac Kite Company first.
I don't remember
It's been a
exactly,
while,
but
so it's been a while,
yeah,
so you're going to
yeah.
have to
Okay.
estimate.
So
But
let
in your toy store, what was your average sale?
about $30.
About $30. Okay. And guys, you can do this too and take a look. It's retailsalesacademy.com, and you can click on this calculator link right up here. So you can do this for your own stores. About $30. And let's just say, just because I'm going to flatter you, honey, you were the very best salesperson on the
I
floor.
was the very
And you
best
probably were
salesperson.
the very best salesperson on the floor. What do you think your average sale consistently?
$475.
How many?
$475.
No. Maybe
I would say I was going to say
50.
Yeah, but don't let's make it less. Not so. Oh, let's go with that. Okay,
Okay.
50. But no, my average sale was
Your average sale was probably
a
50, I
lot
would
bigger.
say.
And I'd like everybody to think about this. Think about your average salesperson and your best salesperson. I do this program live a lot, and in the room, it's amazing how many people share that their best salesperson is doing double the average of their team. So
Exactly.
we'll go with this for the
Exactly.
sake of this
Well,
conversation.
I would say this is a close guess to what it was. on average 50 whoops. And you as the best salesperson, you were probably doing about $50 an hour.
Yeah.
All right. And how many transactions do you think we were doing every
So
day
if we
at
were
the
doing
Mackinac Kite
2,000 a
Company?
day, what's 2,050 into 2,000? 40?
40?
Is
Yeah,
40
that's
times
about right.
50,
That's about
2,000?
right. That
Yeah,
that that feels about
that.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then how many stores did
Well,
we
let's
have?
just say in those days, we had three.
3 stores. And how many days were we open every week?
You know the answer there. 7
7
days a
days a
week.
week.
Can't sell
You
through a
can't
closed
sell
door.
through a closed door. So we were open 7 days a week. So here's okay, so what this is going to calculate for us is what's the difference, between Bob helping somebody and the rest of the team. Holy smokers. So the upside, the opportunity for training everybody else to get close to that $50 average sale, $873,000. It's astonishing. And here's the thing, guys, is Bob, you didn't get different customers than anybody else on your sales floor. You didn't have different merchandise to show them. You just were a skillful salesperson. And you just did these 6 steps to the perfect purchase. You and Steve practiced them together. You and your brother Steve, who was your partner, you practiced them. You develop these steps and you practice them. And that's why you were so great on your sales floor.
Yeah.
So like, look at that number, guys. It's just like, is it worth A, the investment in the Retail Sales Academy, and B, your focus, your commitment? And gosh, for that amount of money, absolutely. What's your
So
number? What's your
let me
number?
share one more example. So, we talked about that company that had, an owner and 4 team members, and they would pay about $200 a month with this special offer right now.
Yeah.
And let's just say, a business that size, let's just say they're doing $500,000 a year. If you're
Okay.
doing 1 million, you probably have 10 or 12. If you're doing 5 million, all of these are representative of scale. But I use the example of 5 people, $200 a month, 500,000 sounds like, roughly the right sales number. If they were to increase their average ticket by 10%, which is almost a no-brainer, almost a
Imminently
gimme.
doable.
It really is a gimme. They're going to increase their annual sales by $50,000, right? So the question is, would you trade $2,400, $200 times 12? Would you pay $2,400 for an additional $50,000 in sales?
Yeah.
If you talk about investment, if you're marking up your merchandise Keystone, you have to invest $25,000 to get $50,000. So anyway, I don't think we need to belabor it anymore. But I just want to look at everybody and say, we care about your success. We really, truly do. And part of you stepping up and making that success happen is you stepping up and doing the things you need to do. Do things like this. The most you're ever going to risk is 1 month. You owe it to yourself to try it. So that.
Jennifer has a great question. Jennifer Shorter just
Uh,
posted, how do you calculate sales volume per hour? And it's really simple. It is the total number of your total sales dollars divided by the number of hours worked. So how much volume did you do in each hour? So like if you've got 2 employees that have worked 8 hours, that would be 16 hours. So you take the total volume for that day divided by 16 hours, and that will give you your sales volume per hour for your total store. Now, you can do the same, you can do the same thing for your individual people, especially if you're using a point of sale system and they're ringing in their sales under their own number. How much did, Sally sell divided by the number of hours that she worked that day? And maybe she sold $120 an hour. And maybe Bob, my superstar salesperson's out there on the floor, and he's worked for 8 hours and he's selling $500 an hour instead of $120. Could be because he's getting into more conversations, better conversations, because he's great at step one, greeting and establishing a relationship. He could be doing a much better job of step two, questioning and listening, finding out what it is that the customer really needs and wants. Definitely could be because he's doing a better job of showing higher priced merchandise, not being afraid to show the very best merchandise, always showing within the price range that the customer is interested in. Definitely could be because he's great at adding on. Um, but all those things together, and also, what's his focus? Is Bob out there selling to every single customer that walks in the door? Or is Bob displaying merchandise? Is Bob in the back room checking in product? Again, all those operational things need to be done, but you don't want your best salespeople doing that, right?
Well, and you also want to create a culture where the customer comes first, right? Because
Yes.
what happens is, everybody here knows this, but what happens is, it gets busy, especially at the end of the night. Everybody wants to get out, So Jennifer's in Petoskey, Michigan, this wonderful, wonderful tourist. Well, it's more than a tourist town. This wonderful, wonderful town in northern Michigan. And, at the end of the night, people want to get out. They want to go party. They want to go see their friends. They want to do all those things. So what starts to happen is people start to work on the closing checklist early, and so they do all the things they need to do to get out of there in a hurry. So part of this whole culture creation thing, and to Susan's point, what you focus on, they focus on. Part of it is to create this culture where it is absolutely understood that the customer always comes first. Whether it's, Jennifer, I would imagine you're open till at least 9, maybe 10. In Mackinac City, we were always open till 10. And, I
In
mean,
the
if
summer.
somebody came banging on the door at 5 minutes after 10 and we were cleaning up, by God, we're opening the door, baby, because you can't sell through a closed door. So great questions, though. Thank you.
Great question. So I think we are pretty close with our hour here. 3 more minutes, Bob. What do you want to say to the folks before we sign off?
I just, my hope is that we made a compelling case here. And of course, we want you to have the Retail Sales Academy because we're business people and we like to sell things too. So, I mean, of course, that's part of the motivation is we like to make sales, we like to help you, but really the main thing, the main motivation is for you to be more successful. As we have a mantra here, love your customers, the money will follow. And, this is such a great mantra for you as well. We want you to have the Retail Sales Academy because we want you to be more successful. We want you to make a bigger dent in the universe. We want you to have that business that you dream of. We want you to have a great team. We want you to have that reputation on the street. All of the things that come from having your team on the Retail Sales Academy and you building that great culture. That's what you want, and that's what we want for you. So I'm just encouraging you, take a chance on it, do it, try it. You'll love it. Promise.
Awesome. Jennifer Shorter says she's open till 9 p.m. 7 days a week when they're in season in the summer.
All right.
Good
So
job. We love
Jennifer,
that.
we're gonna talk you into stretching it another hour. I guarantee you there's a couple $100 an hour from 9 to 10.
That's funny. Okay, so if you have any last questions about our coaching triangle or any questions at all about the Retail Sales Academy, go ahead and post them in chat. I'm just going to leave you with this little mantra that we've kind of developed around our coaching triangle. Remember, we talked about the training piece, the rewards piece, and the accountability piece, all three together. And we like to say that you know, accountability without rewards feels like punishment. Okay. Accountability without rewards feels like punishment. Rewards without accountability is entitlement. And how many of you guys sometimes feel like your team is, they're entitled to, like they want that paycheck, they're entitled to it, but they're not performing, they're not delivering the standards that you need. Okay, so those two pieces right there. And without rewards and without accountability, all the training is a waste. So you need to do all three of these things. Give them amazing training from the Retail Sales Academy. Hold them accountable with quizzes, with reports, with sales tracking, with your personal observation and coaching. Give them rewards. Give them the certificate, give them the attaboys, do that one sentence wonder, give them a sales bonus, like all three of these things together, and your sales culture in your store is going to be transformed, and your sales volume is going to be transformed, your business, and hopefully, honestly, your life will be transformed. That's our goal, is to help you have such a great business that your life is transformed. So I'm just going to leave it with that. Yay. Sharice is giving me hearts for that. I love it. That's awesome.
There you go. All right.
Good, good, good. All right. Well, if you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, you can go to retailsalesacademy.com. The sale is on, our promotion discount is on with a special bonus package through the end of the week. And we're excited to have you part of our family. So good.
All right. See you later, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.